Welcome back to RV News, the #1 place where we bring you breaking updates, insider intel, and urgent alerts on the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnamese Dong, and the global currency reset. If you are holding on to these currencies and waiting for the life-changing event known as the revaluation, you're in the right place. Today's report is absolutely urgent, because sources connected with a major US bank insider have just hinted that the long-anticipated dinar and dong exchange window may finally be opening right now as we speak. The signs we are seeing, and the chatter coming from inside banking circles cannot be ignored. And if what we're hearing is correct, this could be the exact moment investors have been waiting for. Stay tuned because I'm going to break this down in detail and explain why this window could be the real deal, how banks are preparing, what it means for you as a currency holder, and what you should be doing immediately. For years, speculation around the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong has centered on the possibility of these currencies revaluing at significantly higher rates than where they currently stand. Skeptics have dismissed it, while believers have waited with patience, stacking notes and listening closely for any signs that the financial system is ready for this move. But something feels very different right now in 2025. Major banks, including Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America, have been tightening their internal systems, training staff quietly behind the scenes, and updating foreign exchange platforms in ways that many insiders say point directly to an RV window opening. And now, one US bank insider, who cannot be named publicly for security reasons, has leaked the strongest hint yet. The window is open, and movement has already started. Those prepared will benefit first. That statement alone has sent shockwaves through the dinar and dong community, and when you dig into it, the implications are enormous. Let's think about why a bank insider would even hint at this. For years, the banks have been extremely tight-lipped, denying any involvement in a currency revaluation plan. Publicly, they want nothing to do with speculation. But privately, as many of you know, Tier 1 banks have always been the gateway for any major currency reset to take place. They control the liquidity, they control the exchange processes, and they control the rates that will eventually show up on screens. If insiders are whispering now, it means that things have moved beyond planning and into execution. The timing also lines up perfectly with global events. Iraq has been rebuilding its financial infrastructure, signing massive oil and trade contracts, and strengthening its central bank reserves. Meanwhile, Vietnam has been rapidly expanding its manufacturing power, integrating deeper with international trade agreements, and aligning itself with IMF guidelines. Both of these moves were necessary precursors to an eventual currency reset. And 2025 may finally be the year when the world witnesses it unfold. The phrase, "the window is open," is crucial. In financial circles, this phrase is used when a temporary period exists where trades or exchanges can be executed at new or special rates. This isn't just an abstract idea. Banks literally open windows of opportunity in their systems. When rates are adjusted, or when select clients are allowed to transact under new terms before the public gets access. If the dinar and dong are now in such a window, it suggests that selected groups, likely starting with Tier 4B, could already be receiving notifications or setting appointments for redemption. That's why so many people are watching their emails, checking their bank apps, and listening for 800 number confirmations. It also explains why the banks are staying quiet. If they announced it publicly too early, there would be chaos. Instead, the process rolls out quietly to those already holding the currencies, while the general public won't know until after the dust settles. Another reason we believe this insider hint is credible is the mounting evidence that banks are on high alert. Just this week, multiple reports surfaced of unusual activity inside redemption centers. Staff have been told to remain on standby, foreign exchange desks have seen unusual late-night updates, and certain regional bank branches have restricted appointments suddenly. Even though they don't say why, these actions match exactly what insiders described years ago when the RV was expected. Combine that with sudden upticks in US Treasury communications, and you see a clear picture forming. The window may not just be open, but exchanges may have already begun in limited form. For those of you holding Iraqi Dinar, this is the exact kind of moment you've been preparing for. Remember, Iraq has always been the centerpiece of the revaluation narrative. The country's currency was artificially suppressed following decades of war and sanctions, but with its oil wealth, natural resources, and strategic importance, the dinar has the potential to be one of the strongest currencies in the region. If Iraq's dinar even returns to its pre-war levels, we could be looking at an exchange rate north of $3 to 1 dinar, with some insiders suggesting contract rates could go even higher for those exchanging within the first windows. If the bank insider is correct, and the window has opened now, it means these kinds of life-changing rates are already available behind closed doors. The Vietnamese Dong is also part of this picture. Vietnam has become a rising economic power, often referred to as the Asian tiger of manufacturing. With its growing exports, improving infrastructure, and partnership with global trading blocs, Vietnam has been setting the stage for a major adjustment to its currency. The dong's current rate is far below its true value, and insiders believe it could reset anywhere between $2 and $4 to 1 dong. For those holding millions of dong, the impact of this revaluation would be staggering. Pair that with the dinar, and you see why people are calling this the greatest wealth transfer of our generation. If both currencies are included in this newly opened window, then the wealth shift could begin immediately for those who are ready. Now, let's talk about the practical side of this. If this window is indeed open, what should you be doing right now? First, you must be prepared mentally and logistically. Do you have your currency safely stored and ready to exchange? Do you have your appointment plan ready? Have you considered whether you want to pursue the contract rate or if you are content with a market rate? These decisions must be made quickly once notifications go out, because hesitation can cost you. Second, make sure your financial house is in order. This includes setting up trust structures, understanding tax implications, and having a plan for immediate and long-term use of your funds. The banks will be looking for individuals who are organized, professional, and prepared. Walking into a redemption center unprepared could result in missed opportunities or delays. Third, stay calm and quiet. This is not the time to broadcast to everyone around you what you're about to do. Remember, wealth loves discretion. Those who keep their plans private and move carefully will benefit most. The urgency of this moment cannot be overstated. The insider who leaked this information emphasized that this window may not stay open indefinitely. It could be days, maybe even hours. The financial system works in cycles, and if too much attention is drawn before the structured rollout is complete, the banks could pause or redirect the process. That's why being ready now is critical. We've waited years, sometimes with frustration, sometimes with doubt, but now the signs are stronger than ever. Iraq's government has just confirmed its final steps toward WTO accession. Vietnam's central bank has been stabilizing its reserves, and the US Treasury has been aligning its digital payment systems with new Basel III regulations. These are not coincidences. These are aligned moves pointing toward a coordinated reset. Consider how the global picture fits together. Central banks worldwide are preparing for a new financial era, one where asset-backed currencies replace the fiat dominance we've seen for decades. Gold reserves are being moved, oil contracts are being restructured, and even the BRICS alliance has been pushing for alternatives to the US dollar. In such a climate, the revaluation of suppressed currencies like the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong makes perfect sense. They are both tied to real economic value, and their sudden rise would shift wealth into the hands of those who were prepared early. The banks, of course, know this. That's why the insider's words carry such weight. The window is open. It means the machinery of this reset is no longer hypothetical. It's operational. Many of you may be wondering, what about the rates? While no one can give exact numbers until the banks release them, the chatter suggests highly favorable outcomes. The dinar could emerge at anywhere between $3 to $6, depending on contract options, while the dong could range from $2 to $4. Even if the conservative estimates are correct, the returns are extraordinary. Imagine exchanging $1 million dong at $3 per unit. That's $3 million from an initial investment of just a few hundred. Multiply that across larger holdings, and you understand why so many investors are watching this moment like hawks. This isn't about a small profit. It's about generational wealth. Of course, with wealth comes responsibility. That's why I want to emphasize again, planning is essential. Many insiders say that